Ah yes, the Akiba tape, also known as Fly Away or the most mysterious song of Japan. And while there are many mysterious unidentified songs out there, unidentified songs themselves have gained newfound attention in recent years. The song on the cassette tape I found in Akihabara, as this mystery is known in Japan, has been the topic of both speculation and unease for decades. This song and the mystery behind it was introduced in Japan way back in the year 2000, which, is 23 years ago now. Yikes. For those unfamiliar with the mystery, allow me to give you a brief rundown. So, Tokyo in 1990, or approximately 1990. Around this time period, in Akihabara, the electronics district of Tokyo, there was a thrift store that specialized in electronic goods. Said store existed within the Radio Kaikon building, which is a very famous building in Japan but was refurbished over a decade ago and the original one no longer exists. At the front of said store, there was a box full of cassette tapes, and a lot of them, many of which were previously blank and recorded over. A student who frequently rode his bicycle to Akiba with his friends found some cassette tapes within this box, purchased them for only 50 yen, that being a little less than 50 cents, and took them home. Upon going through the contents of these tapes, it was found that most of the songs were easily recognizable, except for one. This song was perceived by the listener as both mysterious and ominous. It made such an impact, in fact, that they later uploaded it to 2chan to see if anyone recognized the song. This first post came about in the year 2000, about 10 years after they acquired the tape. And nobody recognized the song. Something that was primarily taken note of rather than identifying the song was how creepy it sounded. Because of this, it became what's defined as an unsearchable term in Japan, as well as one of the mysteries of Nico Nico, which it was later uploaded to in 2007. The song remained unidentified, and though there were some theories thrown around about who sung the song, particularly Adi Project or the vocalist from Adi Project, there was never really a dedicated search in itself, at least in Japan. In the time since I first discussed this mystery, well over a year ago, an abundance of interest and search efforts have came about. This includes actual substantial developments. So, let's pick up where we left off, shall we? So, like I said, search efforts in Japan actually occurred, though seem to be at a complete halt by 2021. I mean, by this point in time, the Akihabara tape mystery was kind of an old internet relic. The most recent significant discussion on this topic occurred around the late 2000s at this point. However, shortly after my upload, re-uploads of the song itself with an English title came about. It surprised me even further when restorations of the song came about as well. Shortly following this, a very detailed and dedicated Reddit post on r/lostwave, courtesy of user iamps85, was posted. A user who has also uploaded song restorations. This Reddit post was posted at the beginning of 2022, and to be clear, the Akiba tape song had been mentioned on this specific subreddit in the past, being referred to as Fly Away, though was not discussed at great lengths until iamps85's post. A post I consider highly influential to the events that followed. It was here, my friends, where the true search for the origin of the Akiba tape's mysterious song began. It was following this post that the creation of the song's very own subreddit came about, r/Japan's mystery song. And shortly following this came the song's first significant discovery. That the song was made sometime after the year 1984. How was this narrowed down, though? By the first prominent Reddit post within the official subreddit. And this brings us to the instruments used within the song itself and the discovery of which ones were used. To those familiar with music composition and instruments themselves, two things may have become apparent upon hearing this track. 1. The instruments used are all electronically generated through a musical instrument digital interface, or MIDI, rather than from organic instruments played live in a studio. Most come from a synthesizer. And 2, because of this composition, the track was likely an amateur project or a demo produced for a larger company. We'll get into that shortly. It was in that aforementioned and significant Reddit post that the drum machine in the song used to create, all those drum noises, was identified. And what was the drum machine? Well, it was... drumroll. The Yamaha RX-11, a professional drum machine initially released in Japan in July of 1984. This find came courtesy of Reddit user Hornez69, who had been restoring that specific drum machine. They were, later on, able to provide a demonstration with the RX-11 in their possession. Another key detail, one that is all but confirmed, is the synthesizer used for the track. Upon inspection, it's highly likely that the Yamaha DX7 was the synth used to produce the other MIDI sounds in the song. This in itself is not as big a key detail though. The DX7 was among the most commonly used synthesizers of the time and was produced from May of 1983 to 1989. However, it is noteworthy that the SY77 was a Yamaha synthesizer that replaced the DX7 in December of 1989. Now, why exactly is the synth believed to be the DX7 specifically? Hornez69 states that they recognize various sounds unique and exclusive to the DX7, one specifically being the koto patch featured in the synth's ROM1 cartridge. Narrowing down the instruments was only the first phase, the beginning even, in better understanding this track. In the early days of this search, there was one task that remained among the top priorities in understanding the track better. That task being contacting the original poster who had purchased that cassette tape in 1990 and later uploaded information and the track itself in 2000. Now, technically, the OP was reachable on various web pages, most notably their blog and Twitter. They certainly had an online presence even to this day, though whether they were willing to discuss this mystery years later was completely unknown. By the beginning of 2022, search efforts overseas or outside of Japan were set in motion. Though, the ball truly began rolling on February 27th of 2022 with the launch of the Akiba tape Discord server. While the subreddit does do well to document the search, a great deal of updates and discussion came about with this centralized hub on Discord. And it was around this time where contact with the original poster and owner of the tape was attempted. Despite the various attempts to reach out at this time, no contact was made with OP. Despite this, other objectives and tasks did come about, including while many can assume what the song was made for, the exact purpose of the track remained very much unknown. There's actually more theories for the song and the cassette tape's purpose than you'd think. Among the most common theories discussed were: one popular theory from the very start of the search was the song's possible creation to be used in an anime. One possible outcome is that the anime never was completed, or that the anime itself is so obscure that it became lost media. Now, there wasn't anything substantial in validating this theory, though the lyrics of the song, as well as its overall feel, does seem to fit the theme of fiction. The song does sound very much like an ending theme to an obscure OVA to me personally, and there were many of those produced around this time, I assure you. Some validation for this theory lies within another song said to be on the cassette tape from the OP. Supposedly, the Akiba tape also included a song by the artist Yumiko Takahashi. This was stated by OP pretty early on. So, Takahashi's first single was released in 1990 and it was an anime opening. This anime was produced by NTV, a TV channel that aired anime produced by the company Sunrise during this period. And thus, for this reason, it is theorized that the song may have been produced for a lost or unreleased NTV show or Sunrise anime. This is due to the inclusion of Takahashi on the tape and what Takahashi was affiliated with at this point in time. I mean, like I said, I personally feel like this sounds like an anime ending or even possibly an opening. I would honestly love to hear what you guys think in the comments though, so let me know if you have any thoughts on that. Now, this theory actually comes from a noteworthy comment that took note of the use of instruments used as well as their use of them within the track. This was a theory that wasn't really discussed or speculated until this point, but allow me to provide you with the actual comment and the words of the commenter themselves.
Just had a conversation with our Japanese musician in our company. He listened to the song, and he said that this is a possible demo song from Sony or Hitachi, not sure which of the two, for sound demo for their music component products. However, he didn't know the said artist's name, nor when it was created or co-created by some production company. Hopefully we can find the origin of this song.
This comment, in all honesty, may now hold a lot of weight. Originating from a restoration upload courtesy of iAmps85, it's rather detailed. Really, it came out of nowhere, but it's not the typical comment that claimed to definitively know the source of the track. It is a theory that has not been explored too much, especially since the commenter did not elaborate further beyond that one singular comment, even after replies were made. However, with high-end stereo systems being in high demand and quite competitive in their marketing back then, this may be a viable outcome. I mean, I personally recall these types of demo discs being included with Bose music systems back in the mid-2000s. They were definitely a thing, albeit rather niche. Not really something you keep around and listen to for funsies, And even if they were distributed, they were likely in the possession of the company that sold these stereo systems. They wouldn't really go home to the public, at least I don't think they would. So, in short, the likelihood of one of these audio sample showcase discs or cassettes being preserved is rather unlikely. And lastly, the original theory of this being a song produced by a singer or band, be it an idol that was brought on board to a talent agency, an artist or band that created a demo in attempt to be picked up by a label, or an early recording or scrap track by an already established artist of the time. There have been various established and publicly known artists speculated to have been the vocalist on the track, and we will explore that shortly. So, more details were actually discovered upon inspection of the cassette images provided by the OP. While the physical, tangible cassette itself was typical of the era, it was the marked out portion in the corner of the cassette's label that drew a lot of attention. It clearly said something that the people who scribbled it out did not want the public to see when it was probably donated to that secondhand shop. That something it said exactly was unclear. Nonetheless, there were various theories on what it said and why it was marked out. Perhaps the logo was a talent agency or record label. Maybe, possibly, and hopefully a band that could further narrow down the date of the song's creation in some way. Maybe even something that could lead us to the actual name of the band or artist who created the song. Naturally, various theories as to what this said were speculated upon and, thrown around. Though, despite this, nothing was confirmed. Upon inspection of that grainy original image, the most visible word under all that black ink was associates. And it was highly speculated that the word before it said representative, so representative associates. But what was unable to be fully confirmed and decoded through the photo available to us was the rest of it. And to clarify a detail I mentioned in the first Akiba tape video, this photo of the cassette is not the Akiba tape. Regardless, according to OP, the tape did look identical to this and had that same logo marked over in black ink. There is no official photo of the original Akiba tape with the track on it that's available online, and that makes the search particularly tricky. At this point in the search, in early 2022, contact was still being attempted with the original poster and owner of the tape. Despite this, hopes were low in the likelihood of them ultimately providing a response. I mean, let's be honest here, after all these years, OP may have put this time in their life behind them. Perhaps barely even recollecting this mystery in the modern day. Contact on OP's blog was attempted, and that didn't really prove to be fruitful as there was never any response. But then came the discovery of OP's Twitter account. A Twitter account that they were very active on to this day. OP, known on Twitter as Tekibaka, would often post "Ohayo gozaimasu" or "Good morning" on their account. The most worthwhile and opportune window to respond was through these good morning tweets. Attempt was also made on old tweets that directly mentioned the Akiba tape as well. None of these response tweets were responded to in turn by Tekibaka. Only ignored. Actually, were they ever really ignored to begin with? It was finally in March of 2022 that a sudden and unexpected series of tweets were posted by Tekibaka out of nowhere. Posts that directly addressed the Akiba tape.
So, about the song on the Akihabara tape that became famous with the cult fans as a "do not search" trend. These are the actual tapes that I bought at the same time, also for 50 yen. The Aji Nomoto gift tape had been recorded over, so the original content is gone. But the Oyome-san no Ota tape was left untouched.
Let's begin to unpack a little bit here. What is Ajinomoto? The answer to that is actually fairly simple. They're a Japanese food company. A very well-known and long-established food company, as a matter of fact. One that had produced many commercials over the years. Now, the gift part is a bit trickier. When looking into the complete phrasing Ajinomoto gift though, as it's written in Japanese, something does come up. Cooking oils. More specifically, gift boxes of cooking oils and other cooking products sometimes. Perhaps a song on this specific tape was meant to be used in a commercial for this product. Maybe all the songs on this tape were meant to be reviewed and selected for a future commercial. Possibly compiled by that company with the scribbled out logo in the corner of the cassette tape. A second tweet in this thread followed shortly after.
Part 2 of the actual tapes I bought in Akihabara. The cases and tapes have been left exactly as they were when I bought them, so they're kinda dirty. But when you look really closely, you can see Fujimoto Yuri written under the marker. And on the third picture, you can just about see demo tape written at the end of the line of marker. I think it's a pretty safe bet to say that these were tapes disposed of by some kind of organization.
This one is pretty self-explanatory. Now, as far as who Fujimoto Yuri is, well, your guess is as good as mine. Many people come up upon searching this name with that specific kanji used in the tweet, and those who do come up are very unlikely to be associated with this tape. The most prominent person within the results being a 43-year-old politician whose name uses that same kanji that was specified again in the tweet. And this tape also literally says demo tape on it. While this does not narrow down information on the Akiba tape itself, this tape did come from that same shop and possibly the same company or organization.
One of the reasons I deleted the first Akiba cassette tape video and renamed it I'm Glad We Found Out the Title is that I thought it might get into legal troubles concerning the song's copyright. Even though the song was completely unknown, no one knew the title, writer, or composer, I started to get worried about the fact that I had reposted it without permission. So since I uploaded that song to try to find out the writer, composer, or singer, I decided to re-upload it. The first time, I also uploaded it with mono audio. So I re-uploaded it with the original stereo audio, the same file that I personally own. However, as you all know, everything about the song is still unknown. There's an article about it on the Nico Nico Encyclopedia, but none of the creators of the song have ever commented on it or anything. Who knows whether any new information about this song will ever arise.
This tweet is interesting as it shows that OP had fears of facing legal issues by having that original Nico Nico upload of the full song up like that. This truly isn't too outlandish of a concern. As far as copyright goes, Japan is exceptionally strict. And with this third tweet, it was confirmed that the original poster had not known any new information on the song. That it was just as much a mystery as the day they made that first post on 2chan. It was following this post that an actual correspondence occurred as well. Kai, a very talented translator and honestly invaluable member of the Akiba Tape Discord, responded to this thread of tweets in Japanese, asking what became of that original Akiba tape with the mysterious song on it. Tekibaka did answer this tweet, and the answer was not great. See, it turns out that the original poster, Tekibaka, had thrown out the original Akiba tape. Of course, this news was absolutely less than ideal, though Tekibaka would continue to communicate with those involved in the search following this tweet, and that itself was a plus. As a matter of fact, shortly after, clearer photos of the logos scribbled out on the blue tapes were posted, giving us a much clearer look at that logo we discussed earlier. With these images, we could clearly see what it said for the most part. Tekibaka even wrote out the spelling in a tweet. What the Ajinomoto gift tape said, the one said to look exactly like the original Akiba tape was ADA, Audio Representative Associates. However, this was not the only variation of the ADA logo. Clearer photos of the other tape were also eventually posted, and that showed that this one said ADA Company Limited, both using that same ADA logo with the same font. So, Audio Representative Associates and ADA Company Limited. This information was a substantial lead in the search, but what was ADA? A talent agency, recording studio? Something completely different? This ADA revelation would not be the only discovery found upon this second tape, however. Later on, the OP would post yet another tweet, this one with one of the ADA cassette tapes playing. One video in particular featured another unusual song, one that would turn out to be yet another Japanese mystery song.
も人のそばで眠りたい小さく体丸めて酔いしれるほど可愛いものさ捨てられた女は
That's right, folks. Now we have two. The only identifier being the writing on the cassette tape, not the one scribbled out with that Ada logo, but one written as the title. Writing that read, Wagamama, which roughly translates to selfish or self-centered in Japanese. So, two Japanese mystery songs now, you guys. Both likely coming from the same Ada company, or at least a company that Ada represented. Despite ending up with more mystery on our hands, we did actually uncover a bit of information that may be helpful in the future. Now, on to the next discovery. Now, what if I told you that there may be a second tape with the mysterious song also on it? That being the original mysterious song Fly Away. Or that original tape came into the possession of another curious internet user somehow. This speculation comes from this Yahoo Answers post from August of 2021. And do keep in mind that this was well before I uploaded my original Akiba tape video, also in 2021 but a couple months later. This post claimed they obtained a blank cassette that was recorded onto from a hard-off, that being a Japanese secondhand store chain. They then go on to write the lyrics of the song, these lyrics being the lyrics of the mysterious song / Fly Away. At the bottom of the post, they also listed off other songs supposedly on the tape, all Idol songs from between 1981 and 1986. Now, unfortunately, all users on Japan's version of Yahoo Answers are anonymous and unable to be contacted. With that said, it's very unlikely that anything further will come from this discovery unless this poster comes forward on their own once again, hopefully showing the tape itself and playing what's on it. Though, in all honesty, and many of you may be already thinking this, it may just be a LARP and nothing more. After all, OP had said that they discarded the tape, not that they sold it or gave it away to anyone. Now, before we get ahead of ourselves, let's get back to the original mystery song. Very early on in the search, artist ideas were thrown around and speculated upon. That's a natural course of events that would come about in this type of search. With popularity of this mystery song growing, the artist theories have as well. Here are some commonly speculated artists as of right now. This is the artist said to also be featured on the original Akiba tape along with the mystery song. The artist who debuted in 1990 with that anime opening. While it's unlikely to actually be her, I am putting this theory out there nonetheless. So, here's some info on Takahashi. Her Idol debut was in 1988, first single was released in 1990. The talent agencies she's been affiliated with in the past are Big Apple, Hirata Office, Toho Entertainment, and Koni. She has been with the record label Victor Entertainment since the very beginning. This has actually led to speculation that the mystery song may be owned by Victor Entertainment. Takahashi was most active in the early 1990s and her last official single was in 1999. A few best of albums have been released in the time since then, however. Not to be confused with Yumiko Takahashi, Reiko Takahashi became a candidate and possible vocalist of Fly Away in March of 2022. The primary reason for this is that she sounds similar and was active during the period the tape was likely recorded. Reiko Takahashi also had a very short-lived career as an idol, only releasing 4 songs and is very obscure and unknown as far as idols go. There's more though. Reiko Takahashi had also been signed to Victor, the same label Yumiko Takahashi was signed to. And it gets even better, folks! One of Takahashi's 4 songs in particular, a track titled Labusangu wa Utainai, aka I Can't Sing a Love Song, is rather similar in theme and lyrics to Fly Away. So maybe, just maybe, Fly Away was an early version of this song, or scrapped due to it being too similar to I Can't Sing a Love Song. Another contender surfaced following an interesting Reddit post that detailed someone's own theory regarding the search. They explored commercials that had aired in the past for Ajinomoto Gift and ultimately stumbled upon another short-lived idol by the name of Yoko Tanaka. The entire post itself, despite the fact that none of it is confirmed, is an interesting read. I recommend going through the whole thing if you're able. It's pretty long. Active around the same time as the aforementioned idols, Tanaka was heavily involved in an anime that aired from 1990 to 1991 titled Idol Angel Yokoso Yoko. The anime was supposed to have 52 episodes in total, however, only 43 officially aired. The other 9 are lost media. But why did this happen? Tanaka had made the decision to retire as an idol while the anime was still in production. According to an article linked in that original Reddit post, she was simply unhappy with how she was being managed. Piggybacking off that idol theory previously mentioned and taking note of the window of Tanaka's career, it's possible that Fly Away could have been made for Idol Angel Yokoso Yoko, possibly as an ending theme or something. Though, because this theory comes from a Reddit post that doesn't hold much weight in terms of factual evidence, take this one with a grain of salt. This one might be the oldest and longest lasting theory for the track. There's multiple reasons for this, with the biggest one holding a great deal of weight. First off, Adi Project or Adi Pro has been active since 1984. The group is quite famous in Japan today, contributing to a few well-known anime openings, though they were very underground and obscure in the 1980s. Adi Pro was not signed to a major label until the 1990s, and it's worth noting that they were also signed by Victor Entertainment, eventually, though this was not until 1996. One other observation, one that's been stated since way back in the Mysteries 2chan and Nico Nico days, is that Fly Away's vocalist does sound a lot like Akira Takarano, the vocalist of Adi Project. Takarano has continued to evolve her vocal style over the years, and their current stuff is very avant-garde, but the early works of the group kind of fit the bill when looking into the tone and lyrics of Fly Away. The song itself also resembles the early Adi Pro music, and the vocalist reflects Takarano's unique vocal style. It is possible that this song was an early Adi Pro demo or a tentative solo project of Takarano herself. Early Adi Project demo cassettes have been spotted online, so the idea isn't too far-fetched. Unfortunately, with Adi Pro being the famous and successful duo it is today, contacting them is anything but an easy feat. It seemed as though speculation was merely speculation and that was it. But now is where the real action comes into play here. On November 11th of 2022, Discord users Kai and Ostinetto Protervum had actually gone through extensive effort in comparing the Fly Away vocalist to the voice of Takarano herself. This is found in a YouTube video that I'll link in the description. Here's a bit of that comparison. And while this is far from definitive proof that Takarano was the vocalist, it may have set us on the right track in where attention should be set in terms of artist theories. In addition, in September of 2022, an early work by Takarano made for an anime was discovered online. In this track, she sings in a different style, one very similar to that of Fly Away. While I can't play the song here, links will be in the description to hear that for yourself. Please feel free to give it a listen and let me know your thoughts. With all of that said, at this point, at this current phase in the search, our biggest lead and hope for a possible artist appears to be Akira Takarano. Between the AI and that early anime track, it seems an artist suggested from the very start still remains a prominent adversary in our quest to get this song identified. And I really hope this isn't something I have to say for it to be understood, but I'll say it anyways. Please do not contact or hound any of these people I have named in this video. Please just be respectful, be kind. If you would like to follow the search efforts more closely, I implore those interested to join the Discord and work with the team already going about this in a respectful and polite manner. Anyways. What's also great is that we have that ARA logo to work with now. While the company remains especially elusive and is likely defunct at this point, finding any information on this company would prove invaluable. After hearing that second mystery song, interest in that one, as well as the cassette tape that it was on, had blossomed. Especially because this tape was said to not have been recorded over and also had that ARA logo. Inspecting this tape further could prove to be beneficial. With the cooperation of Tekibaka, user IAMPS85 contacted Tekibaka in hopes they could somehow purchase the tape from them, or at least obtain it to preserve it digitally. And, well, it worked. After a few weeks, the tape was in the possession of IAMPS85 and more discoveries were made. This includes showcasing the song in full, more clear photos of the tape, and IAMPS85 being able to remove much of the black ink, revealing the very first clear and unobscured look at the ARA logo. And lastly, I wanted to mention this interesting little idea I found recently on r/Japan's mystery song. Reddit user RoboMetal had apparently taken note of a Japanese YouTube comment saying they wish this mystery would be submitted to a Japanese show titled Night Scoop so that it could be further researched. Night Scoop is a show that's been airing on Asahi Broadcasting since 1988 that takes on viewer-submitted mysteries. I mean, if the show happened to take note of the Akiba tape mystery, possibly using necessary resources available to a large Japanese channel to get to the bottom of it, well, wouldn't that be something? And that's all for now, guys. That is all I have to provide to you all currently with the Akiba tape search. Though I will say, there's a lot of information that came about, and I'm so surprised that all this information came about to begin with. It's still my hope that we can eventually get this mystery solved and at least find the artist or purpose of the song Fly Away. We also have Wagamama now, so we got 2 mysteries on our hands. And above all else, I really want to thank everyone involved in the Akiba Tape Discord server, as they have provided such a plethora of information and discoveries and thoughts and just general original and interesting ideas with this search that it desperately needed. While I've been busy researching other videos, they've been really going into different various elements of the song and have uncovered so much. Again, if you're interested in helping with the search or just want to keep track of it and what the latest updates are, I highly recommend the Discord. I really cannot credit them enough, they are amazing. Anywho, that is all I have to offer, as I said a little while ago, and I'm going to go ahead and leave you guys there. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you look forward to my next videos or live streams or whatever else I offer that you guys are looking forward to. So, yep, bye guys!